Hey, what's up guys? Jay here and welcome back to another video. Oh man guys, today's the day where they decided to nerf us. So we're gonna get into it. This is again gonna be an unscripted video where I take a look at the new patch which just took place. I know I did a video on this a couple weeks ago where it happened in KR. But now it finally came to us, and so I'm gonna see if this actually makes a huge difference in our game and our playstyle. So first, I'm just gonna read through the patch notes of just the longbow and the wand because those are the two that I'm concerned with. And so basically for the longbow, I'll have this up on the screen. It says, Healing Touch now shares cooldown with the wand skill Swift Healing. Now stacks with other players' healing touch when used on friendly targets. So this is where the big nerf is, guys. So essentially longbow and wand are too synergistic with each other, and so they decided to nerf it to where they share the cooldown with swift healing, which is kind of unfortunate because we like to, we like to spam our heals. And so they did add a little bit extra where, we can stack on friendly targets with healing touch. So say you're healing a bow user, and they throw healing touch on themselves, then our healing touch will also stack with theirs. Which, sure, like, that's good for sustained healing, but it still is unfortunate that we share the cooldown with Swift Healing. For Purifying Touch, increase the maximum effect stacks that can be removed when cleansing weakened CC effects. And then I'll kind of do this with... never mind. We'll do Purifying Touch. So basically, that just means that when... let's see here. So increase the maximum effect stacks that can be removed when cleansing weakened CC effects. So basically, if someone has a weaken on them, typically, it'll stack up to however many times, like 10 times. Now the cleanse, instead of removing just one of them, it'll remove all of those. So if they're slept and stunned at the same time, and you cleanse, it'll cleanse that entire thing. It'll cleanse that entire thing versus just cleansing sleep or just cleansing the stun. So that's pretty good. I mean, yes, that is a buff for us, more like a change. Like, honestly, that's how cleanse should have been. It should have just been like, hey, we're cleansing all the CC that's happening to our teammate. So that's pretty good. And then the Devoted Shield effect change now creates a 3-second shield when target is hit at or below 30% health. 60-second cooldown. So this is a nerf. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I'm just going to go over to the Devoted Shield right now so you can kind of see it on the screen. Essentially, it says that getting struck by a weakened effect while health is under 30% grants a shield for 3 seconds. And so for me, I only have level 2, so mine's at 5,900 for the shield. And then it goes up, as you can see, which is pretty decent. So to be honest, guys, like, this is, for the game's sake, this is a positive change because basically, like, a crossbow dagger that would die of any bow user wouldn't be able to use their full combo because essentially we would just get that proc we'd have a 10% chance to get basically an unlimited shield because we're getting weakened so fast. And so this is kind of just a change to that. Yeah, we'll have to test to see how this actually plays out in the arena to see if we actually get blown up by a crossbow dagger, for example. But honestly, I think that this is a positive change. Yeah, I like to be invincible, but it was kind of overpowered. I mean, I wouldn't even have to do anything, and I would just survive a whole onslaught of crossbow dagger stuff. So yeah, it kind of feels bad that they changed that, but, it is what it is. All right, then moving down to the wand. So, again, I'll throw this up on the screen. Clay Salvation, the specialization, Weaken Removal, now removes all stacks of one type effect instead of one stack. So this is definitely a buff, because essentially, say you're in Cave of Destruction, and you get, like, 10 stacks of poison on you. You use Clay Salvation if you had that spec. And here, and I'll throw it up on the screen as well. You would basically use Clay Salvation, and if you had the Weaken Removal, it would only get rid of one of those stacks. So you go from 10 to 9, and it was just kind of dumb. Like, it didn't really feel like you're doing anything. So now it'll remove the entire effect. So say they have 10 stacks, you'll be able to remove the entire thing instead of just that one stack, which I think is a big positive. I've been changing my build a lot in PvP, and so this isn't really going to impact me too much because I'm really not using it anymore. However, I think it's a good thing for PvE if you're running this. Alright, for time for punishment, the specialization Burning Time now also adds a debuff to shield block chance. That's pretty good. So basically when you use time for punishment, and then you specifically throw Burning Time on, it actually, so I'll pull it up here, has a 90% chance to apply Weaken Curse on hit, decreases shield block chance by 20%, and reduces mana. So that's pretty good because it used to just, burn mana, but now it's able to reduce that shield block chance, which is really good too. So that'll help if you're in PvP as well. And then Karmic Haze fixed an issue where it would ignore spread chance in some cases. So basically Karmic Haze had like an unlimited, or excuse me, 100% chance to hit some of those times, and so now it'll miss more often. Again, this is how it was originally designed, so I think Karmic Haze had like an 80% chance to hit originally, and then apparently it would just get ignored. And so yeah, 80% of chance to spread the effect, whereas that would just get ignored and it was pretty much like 100% chance guarantee. So that's pretty good. I mean, like, again, it's just working as intended, so that's fine. And then Ray of Disaster, this is a buff too. Now if a target dies during the effect, it transfers to an additional target within 10 meters. The specialization Expand now provides 10 meters of bonus range, increased from 5 meters. The specialization move speed reduction now debuffs by 30%, increased from 15%. So basically, if you guys are using this for, I usually use it for PvE. So if you use it for that, it definitely got a buff. So that's pretty good. I mean, it just increases the range for it. And then also it increases the speed reduction too. So it's, for me, I mean, I only use it in a PvE. I've kind of used it in PvP every once in a while. So I guess maybe with this buff, with that speed reduction, it might be more useful in a PvP environment. But I'll have to do some testing there. And then finally, here we go. Swift Healing now shares a cooldown with the longbow skill Healing Touch. so I'm just going to demonstrate this to you guys real quick. So you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like in real time. So I'm going to use the Swift Healing first. And basically, when you use the Swift Healing, just notice that my Healing Touch, which is right above the Swift Healing down there, will share the same cooldown. So if I use it once, it automatically goes on cooldown, the Purifying Touch, right? And then it shares that cooldown with Swift Healing. And the interesting thing is if you have 3 of Swift Healing, it'll continue to drop down. So I can, spam them a little bit and it'll still drop down. So the cooldown doesn't happen after each consecutive use of Swift Healing. It just continuously goes down right when you use Healing Touch. So you can slow your Swift Healing down, and then the cooldown isn't as taxing or dramatic. And then same goes with the Purifying Touch, or sorry, I keep saying Purifying Touch, Healing Touch. Sorry guys, Healing Touch. And so if I use Healing Touch, that's a 5-second cooldown, drops all the way 5 seconds for our Swift Healing as well. And so how is this going to affect us in PvP? Well, this is just going to make us have to think a little bit more and prepare a little bit more as we're using heals. Because before, I could just use Healing Touch constantly and not have to worry about my Swift Healing, right? And then I could always spam that up in case someone, got weak. Well, now we're kind of nerfed in the way of where we have to use our spells a little bit more efficiently, and we have to prepare a little bit. So basically, in theory, my immediate thought is, okay, I'm still going to be using Healing Touch whenever I can, but if there's a big fight, I'm going to have to kind of save my Healing Touch so that I can have the cooldown ready for my Swift Healing. And so basically, that's how I'm, thinking about it. I haven't used this in Arena, or I haven't used it obviously in GVG yet, but that would kind of make sense to me. And so for basically, I'll come out with a build that might be useful. But honestly, I think I'm going to be running, this is my current build right now. I've been experimenting a lot with Sleeps and also Ensnaring Arrow, which has been really cool. So I've been working with that too. And basically I'm running this build currently to kind of, or in my arena and in GVG as well. And so basically when we go to our skill specs here, I'm still going to be running the same consecutive use, healing transfer, and skill distance increase for swift healing, because that's just really not going to change. Like, this is going to be, you know, one of our most potent heals, and so we want to make sure we have all that. But then when I go over to healing touch here, so basically with this nerf, now that, like, as I'm thinking through this, I'm still going to keep the ones that I have right now. So basically, because healing touch shares swift healing, my thought process with that is we still want to keep all of the specs that we had on my previous build for healing touch. And basically, we want to make healing touch as potent as possible in case we can't use it because of swift healing. And so what do I mean by that? So if you look at Nature's Blessing with Vitality, right, it says while Nature's Blessing and Healing Touch are active on a friendly target, the target continuously heals for 130%, blah, 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 right? And so basically, if you have Healing Touch on someone and you use Nature's Blessing, they're going to do a lot more health regeneration than if they didn't have Healing Touch. So that makes Healing Touch really strong, right? And then if you go to the spec for Healing Touch with duration increased, applying Flash Wave to a party member affected by the user's Healing Touch increases Healing Touch duration by 6 seconds. So again, this is making Healing Touch a lot stronger because we have Flash Wave on it as well. And so for me, right, like, whenever I'm using Healing Touch and I couple it with Nature's Blessing or Flash Wave, I know that Healing Touch is as effective and as potent as possible. Because, again, if I'm using Swift Healing, it basically, or excuse me, if I'm using Healing Touch first, and then say I use Nature's Blessing or Flash Wave, then I'm free to spam my Swift Healing because I know that Healing Touch is doing the most healing as possible because I have these specific specs. So I recommend running these right away, Vitality and Duration Increased, because I think that these make Healing Touch just more effective. This, by the way, guys, with this whole thing, I do not recommend just getting rid of Healing Touch because of the nerf. Healing Touch is still awesome because it gives us that heal over time. And when the fight isn't going crazy, we can, you know, get 3 stacks on someone, which is really helpful. And so I still recommend running both of them. You're just going to have to be a little bit more cognizant of when you use them, right? And so for me also, to kind of prepare for this, I've been experimenting with every single spec in Flash Wave as well. The reason why, typically I used to just do blind, Flash Wave, and range widen for PvP, but I'm also starting to use the effect duration, right? And so the reason why I'm doing this is because it adds an additional 3 seconds to our Flash Wave healing. Because we can't, you know, spam all of our spells, right? Well, we can't spam Swift Healing, we can't spam Healing Touch as often. We want to make sure when we do use healing spells that they are as potent as possible. And so I've been experimenting a lot with this, and I really like having an extra 3 seconds on my Flash Wave. So for example, if I use Healing Touch, which has duration increased, which couples with Flash Wave, right? It increases Healing Touch by 6 seconds. So we have a Healing Touch on there for a long period of time, and then we have a Flash Wave on there for a long period of time. And so essentially you use Healing Touch, Flash Wave, and then now I don't have to worry about the cooldown of Healing Touch. I'm free to use, I'm free to use my my Swift Healing. So that's kind of my thought process with that, guys. But now I'm just gonna jump into Arena. I'm gonna just do a normal one to kind of test to see how this goes. Again, we're looking at what's going on with our Devoted Shield, how much that's going to impact us, and then we're also going to check out this cooldown rotation. So I'll see you guys in the arena when I queue up for one. Alright, hey, what's up, guys? Alright, so now we're jumping into Arena. We're going to try to showcase this, right? So my immediate thought process is I'm not going to worry about my Swift Healing my swift healing at the beginning of the game, right? So basically I'm still going to try to get those 3 stacks on someone before the fight starts, right? So I'm going to keep cycling this through, and the reason why is because I'm not worried that someone's going to die, right? And so basically I'm just going to kind of test to see how this works. I'm going to give him 3 stacks and immediately go into flash wave if I can. Looks like I got knocked off here, so we'll just immediately fly back if we can. And then hopefully I'll be able to make it in time, right? So this is where I'll have to use my Blessed Barrier, blitz that, and then I'm going to have to use Swift Healing instead of using Healing Touch, which I can't use that right away. Oh, and I get kicked off again. My positioning is probably not good here, which cost us the... which costs us that life. So I'm just going to be able to heal this guy up. So again, I'm using Healing Touch mixed with my Nature's Blessing to make sure it's as potent as possible, right? Because that's what we want to do. We want to make everything as our Healing Touch as potent as possible so that we don't have to worry about using our Swift Healing. So if we prepare, you know, if we prepare a little bit, then that'll go a long way, right? So because I have my Flash Wave, has that extra couple seconds with my Healing Touch proccing off of that too. This guy's gonna dive me, so I'm gonna try to sleep him. Oh, and I got kicked off again. So yeah, I don't know if you guys could give me a tip here. Is there any way to like be in a position on this map where you don't get kicked off? I'm genuinely curious, right? Oops, and this guy's going down. So basically, I'm gonna, yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, I would love to hear your guys' feedback on this because I'm trying to maintain line of sight with my teammates, but then I'm also getting kicked off a lot. And so basically, yeah, this is just not a good game for me personally. You know, it's like one of my first games, so I'm just trying to showcase. Okay, so there's my big shield. So look how big that shield was. That's pretty good. I mean, we're gonna use Healing Touch plus Flash Wave. Which is really nice for us. As you can see, I got a lot of value out of that. And then I'll send these 2 guys flying. Chain this guy if we can, and then I'm going to help my teammate back here. He's going invis. I'm going to get kicked off again. Oh, he got kicked off that time. Missed that, no worries. I'm going to watch out for our number 3 here. Give him Nature's Blessing right away with the shield because we can't use the other. I'm going to use Blessed Barrier on him with Blitz to make sure I get that off of him. And then basically I'm going to use Healing Touch, right? I'm going to use, well, let's see here. I'm going to use Healing Touch first, and then I'm going to go right into Flash Wave to give him that as best as I can, right? Because basically we want to make, you know, what I keep saying already is we want to make Healing Touch as potent as possible so that we don't have to rely on Swift Healing, right? So I'm going to keep using Swift Healing. I have 3 stacks on him right now. Gonna pop bubbles because our number 3 is going in right here. And so I'm going to get kicked off, yep. Alright, so basically I still have those 3 stacks on Rupert right now. So those heals are doing a lot of work, which is really good, right? I don't know why I'm still swimming, but hey, we'll take it. Nature's Blessing gonna go off right away. Then I'm gonna use Flash Wave because I'm kind of silenced right now. And then I'm gonna couple that with, let's see, ooh, he just got, unfortunately he took a lot of damage, so we weren't able to get him up, right? So I'm gonna use my bubble right away. And then I'm also gonna try to give him the Blessed Barrier with my Swift Healing, right? Because he was taking a lot more damage than I could heal. And so that's totally fine here. This guy's going to kick me off again, which, you know, is just unfortunate. Is there a way out of here? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so this map, you guys, as you know, if you've watched me for a little bit, I get this map really is annoying because you get knocked off so many times, right? And this tank is doing a really good job. He's going to kick me again, but thankfully the barrier went up, so I'm going to have to heal myself here. So I got that big bubble on me, which I was able to survive that, which is huge, right? So basically I'm going to use Flash Wave right away because everyone's grouped, and then I also want to give someone Healing Touch whenever I get it. Obviously I can't use it because of the Swift Healing, but that's okay. I'm going to go right into Nature's Blessing here, and basically give him, I'm going to give myself one of these Nature's Blessing as well. And then give it to him, ooh, what? Oh, it didn't go off. That was unlucky. Give him this. Can't use my Swift Healing, so I'm going to try to CC these guys to assist. Use a bubble, because we cannot die here if we can help it. Slept that guy, which is big for us, and then I get kicked. Okay. We're still in this. We're still in this. Alright, so I'm gonna give this guy Flash Wave plus oh my goodness, plus healing touch. There we go. Alright, so we ended up winning that. Very, very sloppy on my part. This is like my first game of the day, guys, so forgive me. But essentially, I wanted to kind of showcase, you know, some of those things that were going on. So essentially, just to recap, what I want you guys to try doing and seeing how it works for you, try to make your healing touch as potent as possible. And you do that by your specializations. So again, I'll just recap real quick and then we'll end the video. So if you look at your healing touch, make sure you use the other specs that kind of proc with healing touch, right? So I use Vitality on Nature's Blessing. And then on the healing touch itself, use Duration Increase because, again, that procs with Flash Wave, which is really good. And then I also have been using all 4 of the Flash Wave specs so that I can ensure that I'm having the longest effect duration on there, because we can't just spam heals anymore. We have to be a little bit more cognizant and careful because now they share that cooldown. And then finally, with the Devoted Shield, you guys saw that I was actually able to survive a huge hit from a Greatsword, which is really nice. And so basically, this is, you know, it's a good change. You know, I'll have to see what it feels like to get hit by crossbow daggers again, if they're just going to blow us up or if we're going to survive. But honestly, I think it's a good change. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. That's all for this video. Appreciate you guys watching. Here's my current gear too, if you're curious. I got really fortunate that my guild was able to get both of the visor and the legs during our boss rotations during the week. We do a DKP system, so I was able to bid for those and was able to get them. So that's where I'm at, guys. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys are doing well, and let me know what you think of this update. Peace.